Well.
Hello. I'm going to
Hello.
start again because hold on a sec.
The whole thing might be just us giggling, by the way.
I know.
I warn
Right.
you.
I'm going to start now. Hello and welcome to Conscious Conversations. We're back again for another fabulous conversation. This time I have my lovely friend from childhood, Harvey Klein. Hi, Harvey.
Hello.
Harvey and I tend to giggle a lot together, so
Yeah.
we'll try and keep it together. But just to let you know, all you listeners, Harvey is a former ballet dancer. He's an artist. He's a Pilates teacher and teacher trainer, teaching everyone from athletes to dancers, even some celebrities, and everyday people like you and me. And I've been dying to have someone on that's a specialist in Pilates and movement because it's something that I really need help with as well. And I know that Harvey has also, you've designed your own workout regime
Yeah.
based around the Mobius sign, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. And also Harvey's going to be bringing our attention to how we move and how effective it is for us to be mobile, as well as how we breathe and how we can really bring more well-being to ourselves through our breath. So I'm going to just start with an angel blessing, and then we will come back to all of these fabulous topics and things around movement and breath. So this one, Harvey, I chose this one. It's called Run in Front of the Wind. And you mentioned to me in an earlier conversation about the word spirit and how spirit and spiro, spiratus, it means breath. Is that right? It means
Yeah,
breath
you
or
need to breathe.
to
Yeah.
breathe. So this
Yeah.
is for you and this is for everyone listening. It's called Run in Front of the Wind. Spirit in this gentle moment, with, through, and as this breath. I call myself forward into the loving light of all that is. I surrender any wants, needs, and attachments from the place that offers faith in what I would not want, and expand in the embrace of the light that offers me everything. I give up my thoughts for your thoughts. I give up my sight for your sight. I give up my perfection for your possibilities. In this moment, all truths are true. All knowing is known, and all love is all there is. My wholeness is yours. My heart vibrates the newest of the pulse that is life itself. My expansion is but the vibration of the highest good, extending itself to all places forgotten, but always remembered. From this place, I know that only when I surrender my participation to this love can spirit celebrate itself through me. Only when I attach myself to you, dear one, can I ever truly know what's possible. And only in this spirit breath I participate with now can I run in front of the wind. And so it is.
Oh, nice. That's lovely.
Yeah, thanks, Harvey. That's from the book 365 Days of Angel Prayers. And I always use this whenever I'm doing a live. It's a really wonderful book. Oh, it's probably back to
Nice.
front. It's a back to front. But yes. So yes, let's talk. Tell me
Sure.
all about, where do you want to start? Do you want to talk
I don't
about,
know.
well, tell us about what happened with the Mobius sign. How did that come to fruition with designing your own workout regime?
Okay. Well, I'm going to go back a bit. Maybe I'll go back to where kind of I started off.
Great,
I was an
perfect.
asthmatic initially. I was not a very well kid. And my parents tried to make me do things like sports to get my lungs to work a little bit better. I mean, very sick kid. And basically, they made me swim, they made me play football. I've got brothers, so they made me do things with them. And I wasn't into sports so much. But I was watching TV and I was watching Beatrix Potter, and there was the ballet Beatrix Potter, and there was a frog and it was jumping. And I said, I want to do that.
Oh.
And my dad was like, really? And mum was like, really? And so then I went to a really bad ballet school, like a church ballet school. Pranced around for a while, pretending to be a butterfly, doing all the normal stuff. But I loved it. I loved jumping around, twisting, doing all this kind of movement stuff, and pretending to be something. Kind of took it out of the realms of having to do something very well initially. But then I said to them, I kind of want to do this a bit more seriously. And so they took me to a better school, and then I went to do it professionally, and I became a ballet dancer. And I love movement. I adore movement. I enjoy watching good movement, because I wanted to be a choreographer really, rather than a dancer, but the world takes you in funny ways. And so then I went to become a Pilates teacher, which I really enjoyed. Came off to America, went to Boulder, Colorado, to the Pilates Center.
Wow.
Fantastic school. It's really the Harvard school. It really was fantastic. They were intelligent, forward-thinking people. I mean, Boulder's full of very, very mix of people, and they have to do. I can't remember what they call it in America. They have to do like a set of classes that's something out of there that's physical. So you can do yoga or you can do meditation, and one of them's Pilates. And these guys learned from the guys that learned from Joseph, basically. And it's brilliant. It was brilliant. These people just knew bodies properly. And I felt like I was around dancers again, about people who actually understood movement. Then that kind of took me to teacher training and helping other people learn to teach, also teaching people, which is kind of fun. You get to see people to breathe properly. And at the present moment, breathing is everything everyone's talking about. And also, it's the first thing you do, the last thing you'll ever do anyway. So why not do it the best you can?
Yes.
What I noticed is through my career, there were tight spots in my body that I couldn't do things and other people could. Or afterwards, I was tight and achy from being a dancer and overworking muscles in certain directions. And so I want to kind of undo that. And that helped me. The Pilates helped me a lot to understand my body in a very different way. And that journey took me to choreograph. It took me over to Switzerland, of all places, where I met a lady called Julie. And we were talking about doing a set of lectures for people online. And we were in a coffee shop talking to them. Both of us are dancers. I've known lots of other people around us, but never known each other till that point. She's English as well. Anyway, she said, what are you really interested in? I said, well, I love Pilates, but I have this interest in this twist formation that I've been working on for the last 10 years. I haven't really talked to people about. So if you imagine that here's my hand and I'm reaching out in front of myself, and I twist it this way, and all the muscles in my arm twist and the bones twist this way. Yeah, you can have a go at home, just twist it one way, and then twist it all the way the other way, rotate it all the way the other way. Okay, and then keep on doing that, just keep on rotating it, and you might hit clicks and clanks.
That feels really good. That feels really
kind of good to do anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a gentle, and the more you make it gentler, the more it rotates. Yeah. The more you soften joints rather than push through joints, the better. Anyway, we're sitting in this coffee shop chatting about this. And so now if you lift both arms up, just have a go. You feel one's light and one's heavy.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because the muscle's undone itself. Anyway, that's out there already. And I thought that was quite clever. And I used bands. And I was trying to twist myself so that I would contort myself, like using resistance between the 2 points of my body. And that's very dancer-esque to kind of make a tension dial. To go and pull it in tight and then release it and then tighten it again, so that you get these forms that are held properly. Right. Anyway, like an arabesque or something. So anyway, I was chatting to this woman about it, and she said, well, I've got this thing about drawing in space. I said, oh, like a guy called Forsyth. William Forsyth, for people out there, is an amazing American choreographer. Look him up, William Forsyth, a genius of movement. Wow. You've got something called the University of Movement. It is amazing.
The University of Movement.
Yes.
Where is that based?
It's online. It was a set of videos he put online about how to construct the body to give it a 3D front, back, sides. So your side line would work, your front line would work, and your back line would work. Maybe you're within a box, within a shape you'd made. It was very clever. Anyway, he had a thing called drawing.
Right.
And this woman said, well, I've taken it to a different stage because I met a pianist. I said, what do you mean you've met a pianist? And she said, well, this pianist would come in and she said, he was taught by Joseph Pilates. I said, I've never met anyone who's actually been taught by Joseph Pilates. I've met people, but never a person. And she said, yeah, he used to come into the studio and I used to leave him and he could work out. He was a pianist and he had this thing of moving in a certain way like this. I was like, what is that? Anyway, she said, well, try this. And she said, just try and make a figure 8 in space. So if you reach your first finger out and just draw a figure 8 on its side, let's say, which is the Mobius sign.
Okay. So for everyone For everyone listening, you can do this
Sorry.
along with Harvey and
Yeah,
I.
you
We're
can have a go. So
creating
just
the
first thing,
Mobius sign, figure of 8
so
on its side. Okay.
figure eight on its side. Mobius sign is like a continuous shape. It doesn't stop moving. Reverse it after doing 4. So you kind of do a figure 8, 4 on 4.
Wow.
Okay. And then just lift both arms up again. And you'll feel there's a lightness again in a different way.
Yeah.
Now, here's the clever thing. If you take your arm, rotate it.
The same one.
Yep, same arm, and do a figure 8 like that on its side with the whole arm, whole hand.
Yeah.
4 times one way, and then 4 times the other way. And as you're rotating, just consider what's going on in your arm, where you're pulling tightnesses. Now rotate the arm all the way the other way, like you're turning the dial on something.
Right.
And go and soften it. Don't harden the bones, and do a figure 8 again. And then go the other way. And then release the arm. Now, if you lift both arms up, one will float up, and one will suddenly feel like, oh, gravity is taking me.
Yes.
So the idea of this is to just have just enough torsion in the body to move properly. So I've worked out ways of releasing the body. So you do somatic movement that's very easy and gentle to your body. So you're not continuously, there's a lot of workouts out there that are just going and pound your body and get strong. Yeah. Or as soon as you got strong, now stretch it out. If you do both at the same time, the body actually sits in a better place. Now, I've had 2 children recently,
Yes,
over the last 2 years, and that took me to learning about actually how they figure out walking and stuff. So I've kind of introduced some of that into it. I've introduced some of my dance into it. So I've got people moving in ways that they don't think they can move. So if you have an injury on your knee, most people are quite angry about their legs. They can be angry about their knee or angry about what it doesn't allow them to do. And my aim is to take that kind of emotion out of the picture a little bit and put in something that's a little bit more formulaic, where we go, okay, what could fit in there better? Right. Each joint wasn't being pulled on all the time, but supported.
I love that you're saying this, because actually recently I had a major issue with my knee, and yeah, and also it's really interesting. Also, just the fact that you're giving us really like simple tools that really work. Like anyone that just tries that Mobius thing that I just did with you and twisting your arm, I can really feel a difference. And I just love the fact that from all your experience, from your dancing, from your movement, from your choreography, all of that, all your expertise and knowledge and wisdom about this, to make it in a simple form that we can all understand and follow along with, is so valuable.
Well, I realized after I used to have ballet classes with people that were genius of dance or something. They were incredible, powerful teachers, and I thought, wow, how do you do it? And I'm breaking it down and trying to understand what they did. And then every now and then you come across someone who wasn't supposedly this genius of dance and would come and do a class, and the class was so simple, the theme was so simple for everyone to get something out of. It wasn't such a brush stroke that no one was getting anything out of it, but it was close enough to what they all needed for that day. Right. So I'll give you for instance. So there's different types of ballet. So in Russia, they've got big stages, so everything's kind of grandiose. So you're looking to the gods, and I mean the gods. Whereas in Danish, they've got kind of flat. They've got wide stages, quite flat. So it's all kind of quite normal. You look very small in comparison, small and human. Yes. And I used to love that kind of dancing. I was like, what's that about? And it also has this kind of contortion where you're pulling one muscle against another, which is really lovely. Because, you know, when you're massaging, someone kind of gets in there and really just twists it out. And they're not pressing hard, but they're just pressing just the right amount. That's how all movement should be. Right. What we've got into a lot of, and I'm not against weights or any of these things, but pulling things into us to try and make muscles stronger. And sometimes you do need to beef up a muscle. Sometimes that's useful. Sometimes you'll weaken a set of muscles. And as people get older, because I'm heading towards 50 next year, so as we're getting older, the muscles don't do the same thing.
Yeah, I
They
know
don't
that.
help. The tissue doesn't do what it used to do. It's less reactive. So the best thing to
Wow.
do is to improve how we react muscle. And
And
if everything's a shock absorber, it's a lot easier. Sorry, go on.
now I was going to say that if you, so you know how there's many different Pilates teachers out there, and there's like your
Yes.
standard Pilates class where
Yeah.
you might be like, it's funny because I've always found Pilates really challenging compared to something like yoga. Like yoga,
Uh-huh.
I find I can, especially if it's restorative yoga, which is very gentle. But
Yes.
sometimes Pilates is just so incredibly painful for me to keep doing this repetitive exercises on one side and keep going, or put all my weight on one part of my body that I'm not strong enough yet, or at the
Yes.
core. So do you have anything to speak to about the different types of Pilates out there versus what you're doing, or do you do that too?
So I think what's really funny about Pilates is it's kind of got this kind of huge umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where on one side, and there's little arguments going on in the Pilates world, so I've got to be careful.
Right.
Yeah, there's the modern kind of thinking, and then there's classical kind of thinking.
Right.
Do you know what? Those places aren't so far away from each other, really. Like most of things in the world, everyone's got their stand, their flag that they want to put in the ground. But actually, that's because your ego's got involved. You're trying to identify as something.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
I'm different from them. I'm trying to sell you something. If you actually get rid of that, yeah, and the important thing was about the thing you were doing for the
Right.
people in the room, then it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Then it would be, oh, Maddie's finding when we do the hundreds and she pumps her arms up and down beside her, yeah, really difficult because she's just using her arms because she has no idea of the ABCs of what to do here, the skills that are needed. So you need to be given those in a class.
Right.
And then the class will not feel or be themed around I can't do. It'll be themed around I've got to, this all exercise. I mean, Joseph Pilates, in his books, and he didn't write many, and they're quite Germanic, they're very Ashtunk, you do this, designed to do something, yeah?
Yeah.
But what he was designing all his exercises to do was to really breathe, to breathe better. That's all he talks about. He does not talk about the core. Whoever tells me they're talking about the core, he doesn't. That's an idea that's put on afterwards.
Talk about the what?
The core, the powerhouse, this thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
it's been put on because it was one thing he said.
Right.
And like everything, it gets blown out of proportion. It's that kind of like thing that John Lennon said, love is all you need. He knew it wasn't all you needed.
Right.
You needed to feed yourself and shelter yourself and do all the other stuff, yeah?
Yes.
And the same with your body. It's not about one entity. It's not everything that's behind your belly button. It's everything that's connected off it and to it and inside it and outside it. So the biggest organ we've got is on the outside of us. It's our skin.
Right.
There you go. So if that's the biggest organ, we should be nice to that.
Yes.
If we're thinking about being nice about our core, it's not about, you wouldn't want to walk around with a frown all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't go, okay, yes, those muscles are working. So why do it to your belly? Your belly should work. It should be tissue that's worked and be able to support you, but it's a frame to help you. Yeah. It's like it's the skeleton of you. It's not the thing. It's not the only thing.
I love that, what you're saying. So it's like if you were like focusing on your core the whole time and pulling it in, it's like frowning all the time. It's that
all the time.
analogy.
And some people would say that's okay for 55 minutes. You should be frowning for 55 minutes. I'd be like,
right.
I'd like to smile.
Right.
I'd like other expressions in there. I want the tissue to be able to expand when I'm in extension. Your belly works really hard. If you yawn in the morning, you've gone into extension in your belly and it works.
Right.
If you take your hands, interlace your fingers, push them above your head like you're yawning, push your shoulders up by your ears. Don't pull them down like all the yogis say. Just reach them all the way up. Stretch your shoulder girdle. Now stretch your ribs and take a deep breath in. And then just let it all go. Isn't that easier? That's how breathing should be. It should be a luxury moment.
My shoulders feel so relaxed right now.
Yeah, we've got this thing of pulling your lats down.
Right.
Pulling your arms in, all these things, which are useful things that you might need to do an exercise. But
Right.
remember, the exercise is only there to help you to learn to breathe better.
So
And
so you were going to
yeah, go
say
on.
something about, this is all so exciting. I could talk to you
Yeah,
all day long, all day
yeah, go
long.
on.
So bringing our attention to how we breathe and knowing that breathing properly can really help our well-being. Do you want to say a few words about that?
Okay, yeah. So I'll marry two things together at the same time, maybe. So I was listening to, I listened to loads of different breathing things, and
Yes.
there was one thing that I was looking at, which was this idea of Joseph Pilates said, make a vacuum for your breath, make a vacuum for your belly, or something like this. I
Right.
can't remember exact words. And so I kept thinking, what's this about? And then I kind of looked up what it might be about, because he was a weightlifter. So there's this idea of vacuum belly they use. And I think, that's what it is. And maybe his Germanicisms got in the way. I can say this because my grandfather was Austrian, so I can get in there and say whatever I want about Germany. Anyway, so when he started talking about pulling this in, it's that, you know, when you see those yogis kind of pull their belly in and pull and show all their organs and
Yes.
just kind of work on the belly. I was thinking, oh, that's it. That's what it is. And I did all these exercises like breathing and pulling the air in, holding it and seeing what happened. It's kind of cool for a while because my belly stretched and it did crazy things, and I stretched my back doing it because my spine's connected. And then I was like, oh, okay, it actually looks artificial.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. So then I kind of went a bit further and I found this lady who was working on breath for pregnancy. Because I work with the pregnant people, I work with people after and before, and the pelvic floor and how that raises and lowers. So everything's a dome. If you think about your pelvic floor, it's a dome. It's a dome like this and a dome like this, going over one another, and they pull up and they go down. So if you, for instance, if you're trying to stop yourself laughing and having a pee, you lift everything up. That's your pelvic floor. Okay,
Right.
Guys, you have one too. Some guys think they don't have one, but if you do that, the boys jump up. Okay, let's be clean. Okay, so then there's a dome here, which is your diaphragm, which is just underneath your rib cage. Yeah.
Yes.
And that dome is really important. So there's a dome this way, and where your ribs are here, and then there's a dome of your pelvis. Yeah. So if you think about all these curves that are in your body, they're all there for a reason. They're all resisting gravity or falling into gravity on purpose, so things can lie upon them. Okay, it's a different way maybe of considering your body, because most people think, oh, I've got biceps, look at my guns, all that kind of idea. But if we think about breath, this vacuum belly, it took me to this lady who was talking about the diaphragm. I was using that, thinking, oh, okay, that's great. And she started saying, hold your breath for a second. And hold it for a bit more and see how long you can hold it before you let go, and see how much you can suck your belly in. I thought, oh, that's okay. And then I got onto this diving thing, because I met a diver at a party once, and he was going on about using your breath and exercising your breath. And I was thinking, maybe this is it. And there was a guy, and he's got a TED talk. I can't remember his name. He's a French gentleman who's won everything. The Big Blue, which was a film from the 90s.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great film. I think it's based on him or one of the people that he learned from. Anyway, when you breathe and diving, you do a thing where you try and get this vacuum belly to work, so you get as much oxygen in your lungs. But to do that, you practice getting air in, getting air out, getting air in, getting air out. And you keep on doing that, but also you practice breathing all the way in and holding your breath.
Yes.
Holding your breath. Yeah, seems like an odd thing to do. Go on, yeah, go on.
I was going to say, one of the practices that I do very often is I'll breathe in for 4 and then hold for 4 and then breathe out for 4 and hold for 4 and then do that again, but then increase it. Then breathe in for 5, hold for 5, breathe out for 5, hold for 5, and keep doing the breathing and the holding and the exhaling. And the
do you want a game?
Pardon?
Do you want a game? Well, let's play a game.
Yes,
okay, I'll teach you the exercise.
We've literally got 2 minutes, so go for it.
This is the exercise. Okay, ready? Okay. So take a deep breath in. Hold your nose.
Sorry, I wasn't sure whether I was to let go or not.
That was great. Okay, so that's okay. So you let go. Okay.
Okay.
Now breathe. Just take a deep breath in now. Okay. So it's a better breath already.
Yes. How long was I supposed to hold my nose for?
As long as you could.
Oh,
It's not. There isn't a definite.
right.
Yeah. There are when you're doing diving, because they're trying to go down to a certain level and get things.
Right.
I'm not going to go into that because that's a really hardcore.
Yeah.
But what you practice is trying to exhale with holding your breath. So you go like this, and I hold, and I pretend I'm pushing the air out, and my body looks for spaces in itself, even though it's not got spaces, because I'm telling my mind body an idea that's not true.
Right.
Then I do the opposite. I exhale till I've got nothing else in, hold my nose, and then pretend I'm breathing in, but don't open my mouth, don't open my nose. And what happens is your belly starts to work, and your diaphragm starts to try and get air from somewhere, from your ears or your eyes or somewhere, because it can't get it from anywhere else.
Wow.
And then when you breathe in, you suddenly go, oh, and loads of air comes in.
Oh, wow.
And then you push the air out, and you can practice those two things together, but be very careful. Do not do it while you're driving. Do not do it while you're doing something else. If you're having a baby, don't do it. If you're stressed, maybe do it, but don't overdo it.
Right. That's
and
great.
This moment will come where you'll suddenly go, oh, there's my belly. And all your muscles in your belly will pull back naturally. They won't hold like you're not frowning. You'd be going, oh, okay, and moving your face like you normally would, moving your belly like you should, like it's part of your body.
Wow. Harvey, this has been so enlightening, and I'm so grateful. And we're out of
No
time.
problem.
But what I would love to do is, can you let the listeners know how to get hold of you? I know that you offer one-to-ones. I know that you do all sorts of teaching and classes online on Zoom, and that you're in the UK, so you're 8 hours ahead. You're 8 hours ahead of us in California. But obviously, there's people from all over the world listening to these. So how can someone get in touch with you to?
So you can go on my website, which is www.harveyklein.co.uk. I'll say that again, www.harveyklein.co.uk.
And it's Harvey.
That's right.
HarveyKlein.co.uk. Awesome.
Perfect.
And what
if you
else?
go on that, you can click on the link from my email, which is klein_Harvey@hotmail.com, and the world will open up. I've taught people all over the world. It's not difficult to do. We're all having to do it at the moment because it's a bit of a weird moment, but please do something. Even if you don't come to me, do something. Even if it's just lying on the mat for 5 minutes, or lying even on your front, which seems an odd thing to do. Put your hands in front of your head and just take a moment just to forget about the tension that's around us. Breathe. Let the kind of earth take you. As much as you push against the earth, it pushes against you. So if you're fractious, you'll be holding yourself fractiously.
Oh, I love that, Harvey. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll have you on again, because this has been absolutely, it's been brilliant. So yes, listeners, Harvey is a wonderful teacher. As you can tell, you can check out his Mobius technique and everything that he said today. I'm definitely going to re-listen to this and try some of the exercises. So thank you, Harvey.
Thank you, darling. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye for now. Bye.